Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm actually really excited, even though this is like my third time recording this episode. And like the first time, right, I had a lot of interruptions, so I had to redo it. Second time, it went pretty smooth, but of course, like the news is rather outdated now since I recorded a lot of these like 3, 4 days in advance, and now like I had to re-record it because obviously, if you can't tell, I'm excited. The first really big piece of news here we have on the podcast is Kang the Conqueror casting. So I mean, that's not really something I wanted to wait an entire another week for to talk about because no one would really care, after a week. But yeah, just getting straight into it in this episode of the Marvel Annotated podcast. I think this is episode 2. The first topic, Kang the Conqueror being cast for Ant-Man 3, at least that's the belief. Not officially confirmed yet. He is for sure playing Kang, technically. And also, we'll go into what that could really mean, not only for appearances in Ant-Man and maybe other things that are currently filming, but also, just for the MCU, what this kind of really says about the future. Also, topic number 2 is, a lot of this is actually just about MCU things going forward, I've noticed. But we're also going to talk about Chris Hemsworth and his future with the MCU, as he did an interview basically expressing, at least in his words, what he hopes his future with the MCU is, and, with playing Thor. Also, with the Falcon and Winter Soldier, we have an update with that since they resumed filming. So with all that said and done, I mean, let's just get into these topics and, just hopefully it's a great time. So, all right, so for our third segment here, it's actually for the Falcon and Winter Soldier. I think it's pretty cool. So basically, we have fresh photos from the set that show George St. Pierre as Batroc the Leaper and Emily Van Kamp's Sharon Carter. Now, this is really cool because first and foremost, I mean, I think we already knew that Sharon Carter was going to come back into the Falcon and Winter Soldier series on Disney Plus. I don't think that's like a huge surprise, but I do think it's a shock that Batroc the Leaper will be on this series because the last time we saw him was the Winter Soldier, which was like 2014, I think. So it's like 6 years ago. So it's pretty cool he's coming back. Now, what I'm really hoping that we get to see from his appearance in this movie is, I mean, honestly, a fight. Like I think that's kind of what everyone's hoping to see, a fight between his character and I guess Sam Wilson Cap, if he's Captain America at this point, or maybe a fight against Bucky, or maybe a fight against both at the same time. I think it'd be really cool if this happened early on in the series when they get together for whatever mission they're going on, just because having them both fight and let's say have issues with the likes of Batroc, Batroc the Leaper, I think that'd be really cool just because you could really easily contrast for the viewers the difference between having Captain America against him and those two, even though I do think maybe it'd be a better compare and contrast having just Sam Wilson have issues in fighting him, just because at this point, I mean, the Winter Soldier, Bucky Barnes, he's not even at Sam Wilson's level. I mean, he's clearly closer to Captain America's level in terms of not only physical abilities, but fighting abilities as well. So I don't think that'd really be much of a fight. I feel like in the same vein that in the Winter Soldier, it lasted like 5 seconds when Captain America decided to be serious. I think it would last around the same, if not less, with Bucky Barnes, because really he's not really going to care as much as, Steve Rogers might care in terms of, being nice to Batroc's feelings, so to speak. So I think that'd be a really cool kind of fight sequence if maybe we see Sam Wilson, instead of, it being like a 5-second fight, it's more like a 1-2 minute fight sequence. And we really get to see the difference between Sam Wilson as Captain America fighting someone versus obviously Steve Rogers as Captain America, just because there's no super soldier serum. There's no top secret military, combat training. Sam Wilson, I'm assuming, is going to be a much more grounded fighter, probably more tech heavy with his fighting, since he has, I guess technically he doesn't have the ability to talk to birds like it is in the comics, but he has all that Stark tech he utilized as Falcon, which I'm assuming would carry over when he becomes Captain America, except for, he would now have the shield, which I'm also curious to see if he uses the shield. How does that bounce around for him? I mean, like, does he have the same ability over time to really aim it like Steve Rogers did, or is that a situation where we're going to really see what it's like to have a relatively normal person that's just really in shape be Captain America? So I'm curious to see what they're going to do with that. I always thought this would be a cool opportunity to utilize similar technology like they did with Avengers Age of Ultron, which would kind of allow Sam Wilson to easily call back the shield, just like they did in some respects in Avengers Age of Ultron. I can't remember exactly what it was called, but it was kind of like a magnetic thing, like a gauntlet that Steve Rogers had. If anyone knows what it's actually called, definitely comment in the comments with the official name. But yeah, it was pretty cool. And then with Sharon Carter, I'm interested to see what her role is because last time I checked, she was supposed to be in some really hot water for assisting Captain America and for assisting Winter Soldier and I guess Falcon as well, not only breaking out of their containment centers, but giving them back their equipment, which really helped usher like the second half of Civil War. So I'm curious to see where she's at in terms of, I mean, post snap, of course, as well. How that affect her? Did they tell her like, hey, we know you had a thing with Steve Rogers, but he went back in time to instead be with your aunt. So in a way, you may have had a thing with like your great uncle, right? Which is kind of, like are they going to do that kind of thing, which would easily be like a comedic moment, or they are they just going to like shy away from it and just say Steve retired and it is what it is. So I'm curious to see that. I hope they don't do a thing where they just pair her up to be like Bucky's romantic interest or Sam Wilson's romantic interest. I hope they don't kind of make the character fall in those traditional pitfalls of a female supporting character. I hope she could still do her own thing. Maybe in a way, kind of be the Oracle. If you want to say, like, use a Batman analogy, Sharon Carter could be like Oracle for Bucky and Sam Wilson's Batman and Robin, so to speak, or I guess Batman and Nightwing, Batman and Red Hood, whatever you want to call it in terms of that. I think that'd be kind of cool to see that kind of dynamic instead, especially since you would imagine with her contacts, she'd probably be the one that would properly be able to get them in missions, out of missions, and also cover their butts as well in terms of relaying information, communications with different world governments. So yeah, we'll see where this goes. That's just kind of a quick little update on that. Now, in terms of a non-update, I definitely want to really, really see them reveal soon some sort of poster, some sort of fight sequence tease between U.S. Agent, Bucky, and the Winter Soldier, or not Bucky and the Winter Soldier. Bucky is the Winter Soldier. So, sorry, U.S. Agent, Bucky, and Sam Wilson. Whether he's in the Falcon gear or he's in the Captain America gear, I would really love to see something, just to get us excited about that. In the same way where when Bullseye for Daredevil was going to appear, they hyped it up. You know what I mean? They teased that fight sequence, even though we knew it probably wasn't going to really come to fruition in a gratifying way until like the end of the series. I mean, just something to hook us, something to get us excited, since for the most part, Marvel's been really, really quiet during this pandemic. And DC, of course, you would think their main competition in a lot of instances, they haven't been that quiet. They've been pretty loud with their series coming back on TV, and also, of course, the DC Fandom event. So, just anything. I mean, the most exciting thing recently, I feel like, for Marvel has been dropping the from the Eternals. So, I mean, that's just kind of my thoughts on that. But besides that, let me know your comments down below. What do you guys think about the Falcon and Winter Soldier? What would you guys like to see from Batroc the Leaper, Sharon Carter, and just in general from the story? And yeah, that's about it for this segment.